I think we finished the Lonely Tree tonight. That's what I fucking think. Should we get in there? I think we should get in there. God damn. All right, tree boys, where are we at? Stephen, thanks for dropping by. I know you're at work. Always good to see you. Now, we are at the point of the base being, I mean, it's so bright now. It's still got a little bit of drying to do on that, but I just went ahead and did the white so it would dry a little bit. But we've essentially got a lot of the work left to do is going to be to do with the base, the hands, and the vines coming up from there. We've got a little couple of things to do on the lanterns. So we're going to be going through and putting the metal slats on the lanterns. And we're going to be doing the glow. Now, we've done one area of glow there. You can see just here from these lanterns. And we're going to keep them pretty soft as, you know, as they look right now. These aren't like super bright lanterns. But essentially the first thing I'm going to be doing is some work on the lanterns, baby. Here we go. Gonna get me some lead belcher. I know we had an entire stream of not dropping the model kick. How huge. They said it couldn't be done. They said I would never do that. Yet here I am, the incredible dropless man. We got some new ambient music because the YouTube gods were not happy with the previous one. No siree. Hell yeah. All right. I think we should just get in there. Now, how to hold this at the moment is the key. Fuck it, we'll just hold like that. Oh, of course, I had to put that as far away from me as possible. Yeah, we're just going to be going through on these lanterns. We're going to be doing some of the, basically now some of the metal runs that are going down here. And I've decided to keep them, and we'll re-establish any of the overflow here, but I've decided to keep them pretty dark. They'll be a little bit brighter than the actual sort of lantern rim, and that's because of the proximity to the light source, but they're still going to be pretty dark. These aren't going to be strong lanterns. Now you notice there that I'm doing a little bit of overlap onto that bottom area. That is intentional. I can feel it. I'm going to drop this tonight. I know I am. I can fucking feel it. You know, and you just get that feeling. You're like, yeah, this bad boy's coming out of my hands at least once. It's like the perfect time as well to have just done like a massive upper body session at the gym. Hell yeah. Increased difficulty artificially. The painting itself was not difficult enough already. Because what we're going to be going through and doing... Oh, audio track is unavailable. Let's do this one. Let's have a try this one. Let's see how we feel about that. We got to wait for it. It's going to tease us a bit. Audio track unavailable. Absolutely massive. I wonder why that is. Now I'm going to go around the base of this lantern here in a second, but that's why I'm not worrying too much about the fact that we've got a little bit of spillage over onto the onto that base of the lantern there. I'm actually really keen to do the rest of the glazing on the light sources. The OSL will really get this piece pumping. I think we finish it tonight, boys and girls. I think the Lonely Tree, you'll be seeing it, maybe, depending on how the glazes on the roots go. That'll be the big thing, because I got big plans for them roots. So this is essentially just adding like kind of a highlight, I suppose, more of a layer to the lantern, just to reflect the fact that it is generating, although we're not making it a really powerful light source, these lanterns are generating light. Hell yeah. Okay. So you can see there, just establishing the cage. What I'm going to be doing in the middle of these lanterns as well, I'm going to be establishing a line of like very bright yellow. I might even put a line of white inside that as well, just to show that the light is a little bit more prominent. But essentially, we're going to be going through and doing a bit of that now. So what I might do, let's get me in on these bad boys, shall we? Yeah, there we go. There we fucking go, chat. All right. As you can see, the hands are shaking. We just increase difficulty right there. Perfect for detail work. I've just come like straight from the gym. There's no such thing as shaky hands, just poor finger rests. I'll see what's going on with that music in a second as well. Oh yeah. Let's get this lantern done and then we'll see what's going on with that. I'm like legitimately shaking so badly. Is this the best time to be doing this exact piece on the model? Look, probably not. Am I still going to do it? Bro, I got a time schedule. I got no choice. We gotta man up. Fuck it. We ball. You know what I'm saying? We ball. All right, good. Good stuff. Good stuff. Awesome. Nice. All right, let's see what's going on with that music. Why are you unavailable, huh? What if I was to play you again? How would you feel about that? Oh, okay. How about we get the next one? Oh, very classical. I think we found a song that'll play. Yeah, I wasn't sure whether I was going to actually pick out these slats or not, but because I'm making the light actually quite dim, like that these lanterns produce, I decided that I would actually pick it out in metal, because if you're making a really bright light, these little rungs on the lantern just simply won't be visible. the light will wash them out. But when I'm just creating, I went over and did a second layer of glow, and I want this to be like dingy. I decided I don't think it makes sense to have like a Christmas tree as the lonely tree. We're getting in there. We're getting amongst it. You notice I'm not doing a lot with the top of these lanterns here. It's because the light is going to be capped over by that cap. So we're not really going to touch the top of the lanterns because there's no light that would be reaching that area from the lantern. Yeah, for some reason this song is playing fine. What I will use this to demonstrate is that even if the tip of your brush, well, as long as the tip of your brush is in contact and you maintain steady pressure, even if you've got a bit of shaky hand syndrome going, the brush stroke won't fuck up. The tip of the brush won't move. That's my little life hack for you. So good pressure. Doesn't matter if the rest of if the head of the brush and everything like that is moving around, you get a straight line. Oh yeah, brother. Now it looks like there should be another lantern slat here, so even though there's no detail, I'm just gonna do one. And see what I mean? Like I'm shaking around like a motherfucker, but I can still do a straight line there, you know? Just because I'm applying a pretty light pressure. So the fact that my hand is shaking isn't applying, because I'm using such a light touch, it isn't transferring to the tip of the brush. So there's your, I get a few people saying, oh, I got really shaky hands, like, can I still paint? Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Also, you get better. You get, like, even dealing with, like, coming straight off the gym, you just get better at, like, controlling the brush. And I'm not even a good painter. Like, okay, there's a couple of little slats that I missed there on the back. How am I going to access this? Through here. Hell yeah, bro. Nice light pressure on that one. Get you every time. Every time. Alright, so we've pretty much done these lanterns here. I'm going to move across to this branch here. It's on a little bit easier in terms of access, which is nice. Okay. Going to get that gorilla grip on the bottom of this model so I don't drop that shit. I said, no such thing as shaky hands, only bad finger rests. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Hell yeah. Kick boys, what are you doing over there, bro? What are you doing? What brush am I using, Kick? I am using a synthetic AK Interactive model base brush. I am yet to touch this with a tabletop brush. I am yet to touch this model with a Kolinsky Sable. It is not necessary. This is very much a dry brushes paradise right here. And the quickest way to fuck up a sable brush is a dry brush. Let's move up here, huh? Let's get up here. Getting a little getting a little guitar in there on the music. Damn. Hell yeah, bro. Every one of these lanterns, every one of these slats gets us closer. Closer to the end of the lanterns. Choosing to have a darker lanterns here means that I can really focus in. Let me do that. Let me do this. Do this right here. There we go. Where are we at? Hello? What happened to the music? There we are. All right. Yeah, it really means I can focus in on the grungier parts of the glow effect, like the object source lighting. Oh, the music did not like that. It did not like me changing that shit. No, sir, it said. No, sir. No, sir. These ones out here are a little bit more fun to get a decent finger rest on. You got smaller branches out here. God, I miss having a miniature holder that actually fucking fits this gigantic thing. I know you can get them, but like a model handle, a painting handle, would be so luxurious right now. You have no idea. Like, honestly, were I not recording this, it'd probably be a case of I'd be painting this held pretty much on the table or balancing on the table. Ooh, big fuck up there. Big slip of the old brush. That's fine. See, the beautiful thing about that is that I can simply go over that and make it look better with a white and a yellow later. So no harm, no foul. All right, let's hold this in a little bit of a better way for this one. I'm going to have to get a little bit more stable. That slip has wised me up. Could have been worse. I could have dropped the whole thing. This is very, very true. This is a very, very true. Go through it and paint. You know, everything in Kingdom Death having so many fucking lanterns on it, man. It's almost like that's the theme of the whole game. But yeah, all the monsters are like covered in lanterns, or they're like, they have lanterns integrated into them in some way. It's very brave and bold side of the brush paint right there. There we go. Okay. I'm going to circle around this lantern here. Just do the rimming. Hell yeah. Get rimmed, bro. All right, good stuff. Let's see what happened with that music, huh? See if we can't get this one going up. A bit more somber. Kind of perfect KDM music. Ooh, sad boy hours. Hell yeah. Who up painting their lanterns, huh? Awesome. Okay. I think there's one snuck in around the back on this one. Yes, there is. You're going to have to trust me on this one, chat. Do you trust me? Dalton and Kick, no. Fair, fair. Fair. Damn, it is essentially picking up that I am streaming this music and cutting me live. It's wrenching me off the stage, bro. It's exiting me, so it's getting one of them shepherd's hooks. Okay. I think we've only got a couple of lanterns to go. Oh, that one only lasted one note. You like that? In before cut after that one note. Wait, did it? It did not. Okay. We're still in it. We're so back. 2 notes this time. A PR. Can we get a third? Oh my god. Oh my god, it literally cut out after 3. Okay. Cool, bro. Cool. Nice, nice, nice. I want to be real careful not to paint this leather with metal, because that would be very, very, very not poggers of me. Okay, good, good. Nice. All right. All right. Flip it around. Let's get this one done. All right. We're going to try. We're just going to keep trying. We're just going to keep trying. Watch me interact with this. And it ruined the whole thing. Painting lanterns, baby. Is there anything more exhilarating in all of the hobby? You know what was funny? I got a really funny comment recently. It was like, "Oh man, such and such views on this video, huh?" It was like under 100. It was like, time to get a job. Bro, you think this is my job? Crazy. Should have a very good job. This right here is, and it's, you know what, it even says this in my, I'm pretty sure, I haven't checked it in a while. Pretty sure it says passion project right in the about section of my channel. I ain't here for your fucking money. I ain't here for your infinity views. Oh, this is a weird angle, but I reckon I can get it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Now these lanterns are really going to benefit from that little extra dollop of color in the middle. That little bit of yellow and white, I reckon, is going to be a game changer here. Now, we're always a little precarious out on these extra limbs here, because every little bit of movement gets magnified out here. So if I don't got a good handle on the model itself, we get a little shake of the hand that's holding the actual model is going to translate into a fucking earthquake out here. It's practically Newtonian, bro. Okay, excellent, good. Let's go around the rim here, and that should be all the lanterns touched up in that first little aspect. And only a tiny addition, and they should be looking a hell of a lot better. And then I can actually start doing the OSL, which I'm looking forward to. All right, let's give it a little tasteful zoom back out now. Okay, the lanterns. Now, keep in mind, once we bring this down here, because at the moment it's quite aggressive, but once we bring that down, it's going to look very different. It's raising the kind of value of this entire piece kind of ridiculously right now, having this pure white base. But let's go through, see if we can't add some yellow. Where's my ice yellow? Oh, that's satin, but there we go. We got a good old-fashioned Vallejo ice yellow, bro. Now this paint here, contrary to all my crazy rants about watering down your paints being like literally the most important thing you can possibly do, which it is up there. This paint here, if you water this shit down, it is going to be essentially just yellow water. Like, this paint is so fucking thin. Vallejo ice yellow. It's insane how thin this paint is already. So, hot tip: don't be adding water. You're playing yourself if you're adding water. All right, I'm gonna see how this actually looks on one of these lanterns here. We've got out the tiny boy brush, small boy hours. Oh yeah, baby. That's going to be very annoying to paint on all the lanterns, but I kind of like it. It actually looks like there's a light source in there now. Oh man, the access on this one, damn. Oh yeah. We're just going to go through and essentially do that on all the lanterns. Doesn't that sound like fun, chat? Doesn't that sound like a grand old time? Now, when you're trying to do this with, like, lanterns and shit like that, it's very important that if you're trying to do a straight line, you align yourself straight with that line. Like, you're trying to paint a straight line from the side, you're gonna get hosed. You get vamoosed. Now, with this as well, I plan on putting a very small dot of white right in the middle. Of the yellow. So to give it a little bit more depth than just being a yellow blob. Okay, let's turn this bad boy around. Excellent. And you notice I'm not doing like the whole run of the lantern either. I'm assuming that it's got a flame in it, so it's not going to take up the entire slat there. The sort of peak light value. It's going to be concentrated somewhere near the center or the top. I'm sort of loading it kind of in the top third for these lanterns. That way the light coming off makes more sense. Stuff. Almost done with these couple of lanterns on this side. Three of 11 lanterns. Just call me the Lantern Man. Jack O. Oh, we're having a too good of a run. It had to come to an end eventually. This is a trick shot right here. Hell yeah. All right. Why did you stop, huh? What do we got here now? Let's go to the life and death of a something. Oh, damn. God, this is the vibe change. All right. I'm here for it. Apparently not. Apparently fucking not. Now, the other reason that I'm adding this in here is to change the value that my OSL can be. Because keeping in mind that if you're doing a reflection, the ambient, it's based on a couple of things as to what the value of the reflection light can be. The first one is going to be the quality of the surface. So if it's metallic, it's obviously going to reflect a shitload more light than like the bark of a tree, as a non-specific example. But also the brightness of the light source that is being reflected. So if these lanterns are really, really dull, then we're going to get almost no reflection, and it's going to be largely red. I want there to be just a hint of yellow in that red, turning it like an orange for my OSL. So it's just lining it up with that. And as you can see here, I've already done like a little test of the lighting that I want. And I'm just creating now the light sources that would be responsible for that kind of lighting. So that's what I'm doing. I'll determine as well after we've done this and it's actually dried and I can see it with the white, whether we need to put like a little glaze over it to just lower it down a little bit. If it's too bright for Kingdom Death style painting, because that could happen too. It could just be a little bit bright. But fear not. We do have a backup plan. We can rebuild him. We have the technology. Okay. All right, let's go up to the top, up to the penthouse here, up to the top branch. Let's get in there. Okay. Okay, that's getting in my way. You got to keep it straight on, like I said. It just makes it easier to paint a straight line if you are straight on to that line. He's a genius. I tend to try and avoid trick shot painting where at all possible, but there are some circumstances in which it is unavoidable. You just work with the tip of the brush then in those situations, in my opinion. Okay, speaking of trick shot painting, watch this dry. This is instantly automatically not ideal because the brush, I tried to get a bit of a drop on the end of the brush there and it migrated to the mid brush. Rather than try to go, oh, I'll just apply a little bit more pressure. No, you won't. You'll fuck the whole thing up. So man, clean your brush and try again. Just the tip, baby. It's all daddy wants. Okay. God, we're going to go through the branches here. It's going to be huge. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Can also come from over the top. Off the top rope. Yeah, there we go. Do another one of them. So the straighter onto your line angle that you are with detail like this, the better. There we go. I think I've only got one more area there that needs the TLC of a trick shot. There we go. All right. Next lantern. I said you got to watch this this ice yellow here as well. This is an extremely liquid paint, like an extremely watery paint. It's a good like mix in paint. I very rarely will use it by itself. It's good instead of mixing white. It doesn't have all the fucking chalky nonsense of just mixing like white in with something to raise its value. But goddamn, it's practically a paint thinner. This thing is like straight H2O on the end of the brush. So I should say as well, for each lantern, try to keep the height of the highlight here consistent. So if you highlight low on your first one, guess what? You're highlighting low for the rest. Or you're extending that highlight up. But you're keeping them all roughly, because the flame is going to be universally one height throughout the entire lantern, obviously. Bit of a trick shot, bit of a trick shot. All right, all right. Oh God, there's still one in there. Okay. This is going to be an interesting angle on this one. We're going to get a bead on him. We're going to sneak around. Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, we only got one branch system left to do with this this part here. Let's get it. All right, need a better fucking grip on this. There we go. There we go. Yep. Here we go, baby. Ronnie Coleman of painting checking in. God, that'd be a loud painting experience, wouldn't it? If every time I did a brush stroke, I just screamed, "Yeah, buddy." Be kind of huge. All right. Nice, nice. God, this is so tedious. These tiny brush portions are really annoying because of how many times you have to go back to the well, you know? They don't hold any in the body of the brush. And if they do, it's quite often not where you want it. I know like a good Kolinsky sable right here would do the trick as well, but I don't use those brushes unless it's like a longer section that I'm doing. Does that make sense? Like a not a longer section, but like a I don't know, layering, not just picking out like a rinky-dink little area like this. Because it's a whole thing. You have to clean the brush properly. You know, it doesn't stand up to as much punishment. The more you use them, the faster you lose them. And they're fucking expensive. Whereas this bad boy here is like $8. Not on sale, like full retail, bro. It does handle like shit though. These like small synthetics, really notorious for being garbage, and it's true. Okay, 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 okay. Oh my lord, I'm gonna have to come from the top rope. Top rope time. Oh, there's a bushel of leaves blocking my way. It's okay, no one can block me. We're on to the last two lanterns. Big deal. Making big plays. Money moves. Great time for the eyes to unfocus. Hell yeah. Okay. Oh, that is an oppressive. God, there's going to be some interesting little bits on these last couple of lanterns, I'm telling you. Okay, okay. Damn. All right. Let's get in that area there first. Let's go in here. And then I think we got to go off the top rope. I do. I think we got a top rope a dope coming in. All right. Okay. Yes. Good. All right. Now we've actually got some like uh more lifelike looking lanterns, and we're going to be going through and doing a little bit of the glow, but I'm wondering whether I want to put that final detail. I probably want my brush, that little tiny brush, to dry out a little bit first. So I'm going to go through and do a little bit of the object source lighting while we're waiting. A little bit of OS to the L. All right, where are we with the music? Should we try again? I think we should try again. I'm ready to be heard again. I'm going to use a... Audio track is unavailable. Fuck yeah, dude. Let's go. So, I'm going to use a Evil Sunz Scarlet here. I've decided Evil Sunz Scarlet will be our ambient lighting of choice. Alright. Now my glaze consistencies for these, pretty watery, bro. It is very, very fucking watery. It's a Davy Jones kind of mix. I want that thing. Oh god, I'm gonna get like a red thumb from this because I have to put so much. Okay, I'm gonna run through glazing because every time I do it, people are like, "It's so scary. How does it work?" It's actually not that scary. Don't let glazing intimidate you. Glazing is very easy. If I can do it, anyone can do it, bro. Also, red is like one of the easiest colors to glaze. The more white pigment that you have in your glaze, let's just say the less fun you'll have. All right. Glazing 101. Firstly, you're going to want this bad mamma jamma, a fresh paper towel. Okay? Yes, sir. We're going to want her absorbent qualities. Then, you're going to want yourself a half-decent weasel hairbrush. Or similar. Synthetics sometimes can do this properly. It's mostly that they hold more in the body of the brush. So something that has a little bit of body to it. You are then going to wet that brush. You are going to go in and you are going to saturate that brush in your glaze. Your glaze is watered down within an inch of its life. You will have the brush like this now. You will go to your paper towel and you will wick off all that moisture. And then you will go to your thumb and you will start to manicure yourself and you will test the consistency of your glaze. Then you will go to your miniature and you will glaze the area. It's almost going to make no difference here. Like almost none. And that's fine. That is totally fine. It's kind of what we want, in fact. Like the name suggests, it is a glaze. And we're going to leave that one there because you don't want to do anything else until it dries. I am going to once again wet my brush. You want clean water for this too. Don't be using no fucking swamp shit. You want a lot of different water jugs, all of them cleaner than the last. Alright. Where are we at? Do the thumb test. It should be barely visible. Alright, I'm going to hit that up here then. So this, we have to keep in mind the angle of these lanterns. This one's angled up here. So we're going to get a bit of that on there. Now you're going to start with a bit of a wider area. And that's totally fine. We're going to be hitting that area there as well. You want to start with a wide area when you're glazing, and then you want to move it down as you go back in. Also, I'm probably going to be reglazing over a couple of areas here too. But these ones are going to get hit pretty hard by that. Now, these areas here, this one's probably not going to hit too much, to be honest. Maybe a little bit here, just on this very tip of that elbow there. And maybe just up here on this one. There we go. Okay, that one there is done. This might pick out a little bit here as well. just a little. And you can see how, like, it's so watery. Like, the consistency is straight liquid, bro. Liquid. You don't want too much liquid on there. You want it almost dry, because otherwise it's too hard to control your glaze. So I'm going to be glazing over again where this lantern is going to be lighting up. It's going to be there. Good. And it's not really going to be... It's a bit far away to light up the rest of that tree there. Alright. But this one down here, we've already done. That was my test spot there. So that's about where we're going for in terms of the glazing. Now this is going to hit the back of that. And it's going to hit this as well. Alright. Excellent. And you can see there the first round of glazing. So you can see the difference between this and this, right? It's a little bit different. We're not going to be doing anything too complex here. Where it was really close to the tree, I did a little bit more of an orange and then glazed over it again with red to mute the flavor, to mute the color. The fucking, welcome to Flavor Town, to mute the color. And now on the second glaze, I'm going to be going even lighter. So we're not going to be covering as much area here. We're just really going to be focusing in on the parts that are raised up, that would be accepting the light. Basically, you want each layer of the glaze to be a little bit smaller than the previous one. And that will stop it from looking silly. Oh, we were having such a good run with that one. I thought for sure that was the chosen one. But you can see there, it's making a little bit of difference. Now, these more metallic objects here, I might actually go a little bit higher on those ones. The same with any chains and stuff like that, because those are going to reflect a fuckload more light. So you will see me go around them with a separate glaze later on, because they reflect light very, very differently. The important thing here is that you want your glaze to be dry before you go over with another attempt. So you don't want to be reglazing a wet area, because you'll just be separating the pigments of the paint. God, that is a damp brush right there. That guy had a lot on him. Holy shit, that had a lot of moisture. Shoosh. Wet as hell. Ben Shapiro could never. All right, let's go here. So see, on this layer here, I am barely doing anything. And it's just creating a little tiny bit of light, of glow. Good, good. All right, and yep. Now, this doesn't feel like an important step, but it really does add quite a lot of realism to the model. Don't act like I've forgotten about this boy up here. You be playing. Ivar, what the fuck are you doing? My cat is just booking it around my house right now. Okay. All right. This is going to be one of the more prominent areas that I'm going to glaze because it's so close to everything. So this one will have a little bit of orange on it as well, because it's actually very, very close to our light source there. Okay, but speaking of orange, I'm going to be preparing that now. Now, essentially, I'm going to be using a Fire Dragon Bright. I think I might do that. Equally, you could just add ice yellow to what we've done here as a glaze, but I've already got some Fire Dragon Bright out, so why not? And we're going to be using this on the metallics and on the small pinpoint of the areas that are closest to the light sources. I'm putting out pennies on the dollar of this paint, by the way. Like, I'm putting out Oliver Twist rations of this paint when we're mixing these glazes, because otherwise it takes too long for it to be glazed down to the correct consistency. Keeping in mind as well that oranges will have a little bit of trouble holding their pigment together. They're going to look really chalky. Some oranges are better than others. Fire Dragon Bright is not. But nonetheless, you can always glaze over, and I will be glazing over this with a red to tie it all back together and almost make it, I suppose you're almost doing a blending technique then. Oh, that's so watery. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah, orange is really, really watery. You can see there, even just touching that with the orange, it's leaving a lot of pigment behind. You see that it's a very aggressive sort of glow that you get there. That is with wicked off almost like 100% of that fucking moisture too. But this is a very big quality of like yellows and whites when you glaze them like this. So I'm only going to go over a couple of areas like this. As I said, the metals as well. I will be going over those with this. But then I'm going to be glazing it back down with the red once again. Good Lord, she's fucking damp. This is crazy. There we go. Now on the metals, I'm going to leave it like that. So you can see there that I've gone in with that orange. I'm going to leave that as that sort of color and consistency. Do a little bit there. But essentially, now all I'm going to do is once that orange has dried, I'm going to go over it with a couple of very, very thin glazes of the red, and it will make sure it doesn't look ridiculous. Now you've got to keep in mind as well, because that orange held so much water in the glaze. The paint itself is quite watery. It's going to take a little bit longer to dry, and you do not want to hit this while it's drying. That is a really great way for it to just completely fuck your entire model up. Okay. I'm just looking around. I'm just surveying the scene here, making sure that we've keeping in mind as well, like a really non-reflective surface like a leather, it might reflect a little bit of the orange, but it's not going to reflect a whole lot, especially if the leather itself already has like a lighter brown or reddish tinge to it. It's just going to absorb a lot of that light. But I do see one area there that's a little too close. Sometimes if it's so close that you just can't avoid it, then it is going to reflect the orange ambience. There we go. And I'm sort of stippling in the glaze here on this one, on the orange, because of the way it does behave. Okay. Just little bits here and there make a big difference. All right. Now, while we are waiting for that, I'm going to be seeing, or should I get the fan out for this? I think I should get the fan out. I'm going to be essentially, the plan with this base is to go through. I'm going to put a apothecary, is what's it called, apothecary white speed paint over all that. I'm then going to just dry brush white up and then pick out some individual details on the areas that are too close to the roots. But these hands here that are all on those root systems, any one of those hands, I'm going to do as flesh, and then I'm going to glaze it into the bark, which is going to be really fucking time consuming. I'm also just going to see right now, if we've got some white on deck, how that responds to being added into the center of those lantern lights that I picked out before. Let's get ourselves a nice easy area with a thin boy. Oh, good. That wasn't paint at all. That was just a bubble. Nice. We love working with white. It never makes me want to, like, end it all. It's fine. Okay, I can assume that we actually have paint now on the palette. There is paint on the palette. How do you look if I do that? Love how fast that dries on the little brush here. Real good. Yeah, good. We're still going to have to glaze this down afterwards. I might do a thin glaze of a Fire Dragon Bright over this, but I do think the white adds to it. Or do I? Well, that's the point of doing that. It's so that everything else is drying, so we can have a bit of a look at that whilst it's actually, when it's dry. Is it worth for a tabletop standard model? Is it worth? I don't know. All right, let's go through with a bit of red glaze again. Now, those areas that we did with the orange, I'm going to be reglazing over now with red. Good. And it'll help tie in that orange to not look as savage and out of place. Yeah, instantly that makes such a big difference. Good stuff. Now, I'm not going to be doing that on the areas where it's reflecting the most light, like the metallics. However, I am still going to be glazing red around those orange areas because they would have a tapered off reflection of that light. Good stuff. Okay. Nice. I just glaze over that a little bit. Anywhere where there's been a bit of orange, we just go over that again, just to make sure. Okay. What I'm going to do here now, I'm going to test this glaze of Fire Dragon Bright. It's probably not the right paint for it, actually. I probably need a Actually, you know what we could do? We get real creative with it. Let's get a tiny little bit of Tesseract glow. Let's thin the fuck out of that. Let's use that as a semi glaze. See how that behaves. But essentially, that's just the little bits of OSL around there, just the dim glow of these lanterns before we shade down the light highlights now with another glaze. But you can see there that the glow effects are done. Once we mute this base down quite a lot more, it'll be on track. Keeping in mind that the metallics as well that we've been working with are not going to be as muted as the rest. All right, let's see. What does this behave like for me? What does that behave like? Does that mute it too much is what I'm trying to say. Because I don't want too much muting. But I think that does mute it just enough. Okay. Good stuff. Keep it in the family with some Tesseract glow, huh? We're going very, very lightly over here with Tesseract glow too. It's very, very sparing. But that's just tying everything back in so that we don't have any like overly bright points. Yeah, that's much, much better. You can see that now, kind of looking, kind of how it merges those colors back in, and it doesn't look like we've just literally painted. It's kind of like a blending method here that we've used. Just very, very easy. Light bit of Tesseract glow over these areas. Also, this is so much faster than doing the actual painting. Doing the highlight. God, it's faster. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just mute that down a bit, baby, and it looks 10 out of 10. Would paint again. Now, keeping in mind, as this Tesseract Glow Effect paint dries, it will change value slightly as well. But we just wanted it to take the edge off that ice yellow. Which is exactly what it is doing. Ooh, sneaky one. There we go. Awesome. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, instantly we see where that has started to dry there. It's just raised the value of the overall lantern, but it hasn't made it appear like cartoonish. I like it. I like it a lot. Who knew the real Tesseract glow was the friends we made along the way? I am using like I can't even explain how little of Tesseract glow I am putting. Like I am drying almost all of the Tesseract glow off, and I'm not putting it on directly to the model. When I'm engaging the body of the brush here, it's just for a second to get a little bit more Tesseract glow. You don't want it to just wash out. Unlike the first application where we were like, I want this to cover the white completely. This is not that. Oh, yeah. I think we've got only one more lantern to go. Kind of big, kind of huge. All right. You can see I'm sort of just tracing over that area really, really quickly with like just the tip of the brush. So it's not getting a chance to really wash out that color. It's just muting it and tying it back in with the rest of the Tesseract glow. Good stuff. All right, maybe a little more on you. You're a little too bright. There we are. Okay, much better. Now, I have one more thing to do before it involves me actually going and doing the base, which is I have been putting that off. And that thing is a tiny little bit, just a little tiny bit of blood for the blood god. Because there's one talon here that I did not hit with blood for the blood god, and it would quite frankly be an affront to the lonely tree not to remedy that straight away. Okay, remembering what I said here about blood for the blood god, though, being like the worst bristle flick accident paint in existence. So just being nice and careful when you do stuff like that. Okay. Good stuff. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, nice, 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 nice. Happy with that, happy with that, happy with that. Let's now, this is gonna be, oh dear. Oh, that's that's not the color we want. That sure is not the color we want. Man, Apothecary White, you got to be mixing this bad boy. You got to be in the trenches with Apothecary White. Like, it's one of them contrast paints that just does not mix at all. I'm gonna literally be mixing this for like 5 solid minutes. Oh my god. This is so terminal. How much you have to mix. Again, without like mixing balls here, this would be like impossible. Like, I don't actually know. I don't actually know how you people do it without those fucking metal mixing balls. All right. Come over here, Apothecary White. Now, we are not going to thin this. We are not going to thin this. This is also going to be one of those situations where I'm putting this on the model, and the model is going to be on the actual mat here. You know what? I'm not happy with how soft this brush is, but that's okay. Now, the reason we're not thinning this is because this is a way that I use often for speed paint. So this will usually, if you're painting a white, you start from a gray and you layer up, or you incorporate bits and pieces of blue, etc., like that. Because you very rarely will be painting just like white exclusively. That's almost always going to be just your absolute highlights that picks out the value and gives the impression of white. However, if you're doing it quickly for like a big base like this, because I don't want to do that for all these fucking stone faces, if you layer it up to white with a decent, half decent coverage, it's not important that it's completely blocked out white, and then you hit it with an Apothecary White speed paint, and then you dry brush it, and then you just pick out white, it's way faster. Is it better? No. If you're painting something for competition, this is not a good, this is not the strat. I repeat, this is not the strat. Is it good for tabletop standard stuff that people are going to be playing the board game? Hell yeah. It is so fucking good for that. Even with that said, you want like to avoid a shitload of pooling with this. even though I'm using it to create the gray base that I would usually have underneath this and be highlighting up, you still don't want it to pool like aggressively. Especially when I'm starting with like these big brushes here, you just got to keep it moving a bit. See like the difference between this area and, well, you can't really see, but like this area here and this area here, I need to move this a lot more. It needs to be a lot more spread out. Okay, what is my fucking cat doing? I know he's doing something. He up to no good. God, there's so much to this base. Why did I put this on a like 120 mil base? It's not even like I didn't even like like do anything special with the base. There's just so much of it. Yeah, I need to move that a shitload more actually. Okay, good. Now we'll be using a smaller brush to get in on some of the details here, where I'm not wanting to put this fucking gigantic basing brush. But because this is a like gray, white, very it's not going to cover up brown, is what I'm trying to say. Paint, it's pretty forgiving. Also, keeping in mind, we're going to be doing quite a bit of work on these roots here, making them look like flesh for a lot of the area and then glazing it in. Using glazes to blend it in with the rest of the root system. So, good stuff. Okay, now we're going to change over to a slightly less gigantic, cumbersome brush. I'm keeping this on the table because it's currently painted in the areas that I would usually get purchase. And it gives you a chance to, as well, rest your wrist on the actual table, which is a painting life hack for those who are not aware. Okay. Let's keep going around this way. I know it's not the best viewing angle, chat, but trust me, shit's getting painted, all right? You just focus on that canopy there and look pretty. I will show you in a minute. Yeah, people are always like, "Oh, thin this down, bro." If you thin this down in this particular for what we're doing it for here, I agree. Thinning it down if you're doing like well, let's say like an actual apothecary. Yes, you're gonna want to thin this shit down because otherwise it's gonna look like trash. But if you're trying to mimic a very bright highlight up from a gray, I don't know about watering this down, brother. What, make it dry even slower? You have my attention. Because that's what I was trying to avoid here. Putting this here because it dries so fucking slowly. Oh my lord. And there's really nothing else at this stage that we can do. We just have to kind of grit the teeth and let this dry. Okay, let me show you. Let me show you the damage. So keeping in mind, this is just going to be like a consistent tabletop base, right? With all the other stuff that I've done. This is definitely not showroom floor ready. What I'm going to show you is a fast technique on how to do this. So you can see there, I've gone over that white with that Apothecary Grey quite thickly because I'm wanting it to take the place of my base of grey. So I'm going to be dry brushing largely over that. Another reason why I haven't done anything to do with the hands, purely because we're going to be dry brushing, and dry brushing just, you know, it's just going to get shit everywhere. So essentially now it's wait time. It is essentially fan on, waiting for it to dry. Literally watching paint dry, chat. Literally watching paint dry. Okay. Now, how long do contrast paints take to dry in this sort of consistency? I don't know, bro. Quite a while. Should we listen to some classical music? We should try. Ooh, very ominous. Ha! Stephen, yes, indeed, base time. Indeed, it is base time. And that is, it's drying time, more like it. Listen to this dramatic, this is some Mozart shit. How long does the contrast take to dry, Stephen? I would say probably 20 minutes. Maybe with the fan here, a little bit faster. But you're literally watching paint dry right now. That's why you come for the, that's why we come for the chill streams, bro. I don't mind a chill yap. Oh, you've come to the right place. You're still at work, aren't you, Stephen? Yeah, damn. What time is it over there? Well, how long you got left is what I'm trying to say. Because it's 10 o'clock here. Oh, still half a day? Damn, bro. Damn. That's alright. Different time zones, but you'll get yours. Actually, this is drying pretty fucking quickly. What's the plan after it dries? Well, obviously, we'll be dry brushing up the faces to look white. However, after that dry brush, we're going to be doing something genuinely exciting. I'll show you. We're going to be doing great classical music backing to what I'm explaining here. We're going to be doing the vines and shit like that in a different color. I haven't decided whether I want to do them as like green. Oh, focus. Whether I want to do them as green vines or whether I want to do them as like veins. And I'm going to be doing the hands in a flesh color and blending it up into that bark. Which you think this drying takes a long time, huh? Man, we got a fucking stampede going on this this Mozart symphony is fucking crazy. I like how you explain glazing. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I find that glazing is one of those things that people get like weirdly in their head about. Like, dude, it's just thin the paint enough, take the water off, and then win. There is no fourth step. It just takes a long time. You just got to do a lot of glazes. And it's particularly difficult when you're glazing a lighter color over a darker one. How many glaze layers will the roots take? Brother, how many you got? It's gonna be brutal out there, I'm not gonna lie to you. It is gonna be fairly fucking rough. I'm expecting to have to do about 10 glaze layers for each hand. Hopefully I can batch them. Like if I paint up these hands as flesh, then I can batch everything up. So I can just go around and do glaze after glaze after glaze, which is going to be mind-numbing. That's all right. Sending a tactical text. Would rather be doing that way. You'd rather be glazing than working, huh? Strange to not see you painting a did you? Strange to not see me painting a busty babe with red hair. Fair and based, Stephen. That is a tree is a bit of a departure away from what I'm usually painting. That is a fact. People were talking, you know, they were saying you can't do it. Have I painted any other monsters from KDM? Yeah, man. Yeah, I painted the white lion and the, I just finished the antelope recently. Still got so many to go, though. So many to go. I love the antelope. Yeah, so do I. So do I. I fuck hard with the Giga Lion, not the original white lion. But I reckon that the Nucalope and the Screaming Antelope, they're not that far apart. Like, the Giga Lion, though, just wrecks. Like, God, I think because the white lion was one of their, like, original sculpts. Can I see the antelope? Yeah, sure. You know what? I'm gonna go grab it. All right, give me 2 seconds here. Keep the boys entertained, Stephen. Oh, there goes the fan. I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh, no, we're okay. We're okay. We are okay. Stephen, this is for you. Oh my God, again. I'm making a meal out of this. I see that message. All right, I'm back. You dropped fan counter too. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm wearing I'm wearing Rick Owens Geo baskets. If you don't know what that is, they've got a fucking fat tongue on them. They just kept catching the cord. I do have the antelope here. I'm just getting my cans back on. All right. Check this shit out. Check this antelope out, bro. Look at the old screamer. He's so pretty. He's so pretty. I love the moor. Man, he's just such a creepy animal, dude. It's just, I really like this model. It's very simple, but I even like the little hands coming out of it. Like, it's so cool. I really, really like it a lot. That's cool as hell, holy shit. Thanks, man. I just like him. I think he's a really great model, and I think he holds up. Oh, the music cut out. The music did cut out. We were going so well. We were going so fucking well, too. See if I can find anything else. How did you do the drool? Oh, the hold on, let me get it again. These little strands, that's just clear acrylic, UV resin, and there's a bit of fishing line that is glued to each part, and then you pour a droplet of resin down it and cure it as it falls. It's a really good way to do monster saliva. It's a really, really good way. How are we doing on this drying? That's sick. Thank you. I think it adds a lot. Like, you can that antelope by itself is like kind of, it was missing just one thing in my opinion. Even the nucalope is the same though. The nucalope is very, very similar. It's just got cooler horns on it, you know? Agreed? Yeah. Based Steven moment. Based Steven. See how long this music holds up. This is almost dry too. This is almost dry. I gotta work, my boss is coming. He's a vigilante. Tell your boss you've got better things to do. Don't do that. Do not do that, Steven. Do not do that. Godspeed. The real one. The OG. Oh, it's getting there though. It is getting there. The fan is really helping. I feel like this music, I should be like Mongolian throat singing while it's playing. Do you know what I mean? I reckon this would slap with some Mongolian throat singing. Yeah, without a fan here, this would be an arduous process. Hair dryers are even better, but guess what? Don't have a hair dryer, so. And we really can't do anything else until that's done, because the larger part of the upstairs department is pretty much complete now. The upper part of the tree, the canopy, the everything else, the lanterns, the OSL, it's all kind of done skis. We are just waiting on the roots. This is going to add so much to it, though. I think the big thing that people are underestimating at the moment is these vines here. When I pick those out, forget about it. That's going to look sick. But for now, we are literally watching paint dry. Only the best here. we're having a pretty good run with this music, I'm not going to lie. It hasn't been nuked from space yet. You know what my toxic trait is? Painting makes me want to eat pizza. It just makes me ferociously lust after pizza. Like, you know what would steady your hand right now, big dog? A nice slice of double pep. That's what I'm talking about. That's just what the doctor ordered, baby. I think we might be close to dry here. We're very, very close. There's one or two little areas here that just need to catch up with the rest. And then it's time. We can get crack-a-lackin'. I might get some of that white ready. I've mentioned this before, but really important to have clean water to water down white and stuff like that. Flesh colors especially. Don't come at me with your fucking filthy flesh colors. No wonder the skin you paint looks like shit and is lumpy. You've mixed so many other pigments in there. Especially metallics, bro. You've been painting with metallics and you put that pigment into your water and then you thin down white paint. What the fuck are you doing, man? Come on. 2026, get it together. That shit will ruin your day. Now, where do I want to go with this? I probably want this one. Probably want this brush right here. Oh, it's so close to being dry. You can't rush this process. I'm telling you, man, Mongolian throat singing with this music would go fucking nuts. Imagine what we're hearing right now, but then like a generously proportioned Mongolian man with a 2-string guitar just hitting it. God, that would be good. These fuckers better be appreciative that I just paint this fucking lonely tree. I have so many other fucking Kingdom Death survivors that I have to paint. And they went and just engaged with the weirdest monster so quickly. They're like, this is gonna be sick. Have you painted the lonely tree? No. Sweet. Good stuff. Amazing. Incredible. I also got to paint the fruit, to be fair, but I'm thinking of doing something a little bit wild and wacky with the fruit. I suppose I do get to paint the little woman that comes with it, the lonely tree lady, the lonely lady. Like, actually, what do I want to do with these fruit? I could do literally anything. I think I know. In fact, while we wait for the last tiny bit of this to dry, let's just do a little something here. I'll move this across. I don't want this anywhere near what I'm about to do. All right. So let's get a little dry brush action going. I might establish some shades here. on the lonely fruit. Pretty aggressive dry brush, to be honest, because I want to be able to hit this with a contrast paint after. So what I'm describing to you here is slap chop. I'm trying to make it sound real sexy, but what I'm literally describing is slap chop. The ultimate speed painting technique. Dude, I remember when slap chop dropped. It's a fun thing to say. I remember when slap chop dropped. Dude, it one-shot so many fucking people. Do you know how many people at like hobby stores came in with their fucking slap chopped models? Like, yes, okay, it can be. I'm literally doing it right now. I'm actually doing it right now. Like, we get it, dude, but you're actually doing it right the fuck now. I understand, and it can definitely have its place. Oh, we were going so well with that music too, but dog, it is kind of concerning that everyone just was like, don't have to learn how to paint anymore. New paint technique just dropped. See you later, any amount of effort. Like, come on, man. Come on. Come on. It's not that good. Like, yes, it is okay. And it will get you like, okay, when I say tabletop standard, or maybe a table in the back of the fucking room. But there's a bit of slap chop for you, huh? A bit of slap chop up in here. But you weren't expecting to see some fucking slap chop right now. Alright, is this dry? Correct. It is kind of dry. We love kind of dry. Oh man, that song barely lasted at all. Alright, with the dry brush on the actual lonely tree here. Put this down here so Ivar can play with it. And it doesn't get knocked the fuck off. What I'm going to do, I'm going to be going pretty light over this. But instantly, it's going to make a massive, massive difference. And it's going to bring, obviously, if anyone's seen my other Kingdom Death models, this is just matching the stone faces on the others. This is not a special, super sexy basing scheme I'm doing here. But we're going to be doing essentially a couple of layers like this of dry brushing. We're going to need more white. Going to need more white, Captain. Yeah, and this will simply just one-shot your brushes, bro. Like, if you're not using, like I said, there's advantages and disadvantages to using cheap makeup brushes. One of the main advantages is that dry brushing with anything else is quite simply a waste of a brush. But the disadvantage is that it can leave hairs quite easily in your work, which is very, very annoying to deal with. God, now I've just got Mongolian throat singing stuck in my head. Like, yeah, I listen to that shit, bro. It's so good. It just hits. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's just a hymn. It's hymnothy. All right. Okay. So the base of stone faces has been somewhat established here. We are going to wait for that dry brush to fully dry. And then I might put another layer of white over it. Okay, good stuff. But you can see now it's still white, but we've got like a good amount of detail on the white stone, and there still appears, it looks like a pile of stone faces, not just a blob, if that makes sense. Now, the part we have all been waiting for. It's painting flesh time, baby. Let's start with... I'm going to do something different for this one. I don't think you guys have seen me do this. I'm going to start with a Bugman's Glow. That's right. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with a fucking Bugman's Glow. This is an OG skin recipe right here. I'm using this because it just coats and covers a little bit easier than the lighter skin tone, so it'll be easier to blend. But also, I'm using this because I want the hands coming out of the tree to be like plausible as bark. Does that make sense? Oh my god, there's a hair on my wet palette. Holy shit. It's alright, crisis averted. Now, skin. Thinning paints. Very, very, very fucking important. Just simply not optional anymore. Skin is the thing you wish to thin paints with. There is simply no better option or better thing to thin your paints on than skin. If you're trying thinning paints for the first time, try it on skin, baby. All right. Now, let's see if we can zoom in a little bit on this. And I want this to focus in on the... Yeah, there we go. Focus in on the fucking hands, mate. You will notice immediately I have thinned the paint quite a lot. We are not going to get huge coverage here. That is fine. You knew I'd find some way to paint skin on this model, huh? You just knew it was coming. So establishing this little base coat here of Bugman's Glow. Painting with a real paint again and not just like a glow effect or like a dry brush. Feels so fucking good, man. Feels so fucking good. All right. Now, as to where we're actually going up on the arm and how far, that is going to be kind of off vibes, which I know everyone loves hearing when we're painting. No better painting tutorial than just being like, dude, just go by feel, bro. But essentially, I'm going to kind of feather in an end to this flesh and then blend that. Now, I'm not going to be too precious about the vine on the top here either. There we go. Okay. Fantastic. Now, before I do any of the layering on top of these Bugman Glow areas here as well, I'm going to probably do the blending into the bark, because then I can just highlight up from that. But yeah, we're picking out some fleshy little hands here. God, I've missed painting with actual fucking paint. It's been so good. I've just missed painting skin. I'm not going to lie to you. It's my true calling. That's all I want to do. Give me some underboob, you know what I'm saying? All right, there we go. So we're essentially going to be doing that with all the hands, okay? And there's a fuckload of hands on this. So, you know, brace for impact. There's a shitload of them. Don't focus there. There we go. It'll be interesting as I explore this sculpt, actually, to see how well the hands are represented in the miniature. Because I'm noticing here there's a little textural component missing of this particular hand that I'll just paint in myself. So not the end of the world. There we go. These all look really, really fucking creepy when we highlight them. When we actually make it look like skin, you know? Whoop. But yeah, this initial step here is just about picking out the hands and then picking out where the blend has to happen. Because the blend is going to be the big difference maker. Get over the top there. Go and get. Go and get. Okay, I'm going to readjust how I'm holding this. There we go. There we go. Like I say, we're sort of establishing our joins with the bark as to where we're actually going to be placing more highlights and placing the glazing to blend in completely. There we go. And we're just going to keep through it. I wonder how many hands are actually on this thing. I'm guessing it's going to be like a lot. I'm guessing it's going to be quite an amount. I do like the idea of like the creepy tree like reaching out to grasp you. You know, that I think that's cool. This thing's entire mechanics revolve around like uh, grabbing the player, sucking them into the ground, and like bleeding making them bleed essentially. It's a nasty little bugger. It's a nasty little bugger. Once I painted this, I will let the boys know exactly how the party goes with trying to take it out, because I just don't think they've got this. In fact, the Lonely Tree better fucking win. You know what? I'm saying it. The Lonely Tree better win, because I am not spending this time on no fucking chump bit of scenery. All right, we ain't spending the time painting this shit if it's not going to at least kill some survivors, you know? Okay, that's going to be an interesting area there to blend. It's going to be very, very tight. Like a toiga. Okay, there we go. All right, no hands on the top of that. Nope. Let's go back this way. So we're over onto these little grippers over here. Okay. Okay. All right, I think that's that one there. Pretty much accounted for. Oh god, I see so many hands, bro. How dare there be so many hands here that I have to fucking paint? Oh, and they're so easy to focus on too. The camera loves them. The camera does not love them. Is that a fucking finger? It is. Okay. All right, there we go. Now, do we got any? We do. We do got a side profile on this bad boy. This bad mama jamma has a bit of side palm going on there. It's like side boob, but way more boring. All right, there we go. Give that finger a little bit of extra something, something. Okay. That's just a straight up normal vine. All right. Is that a normal vine? Is it? Oh, it is. It is. Okay. This is a weird little silly hand in here, but I'm going to paint it anyway. This is one of them, not sure the sculpt should have been here, bro, but oh well. It is what it is. Okay, that should be That one just about taken care of. Kind of looks like a foot. Foot boys. Foot boys in here. You're being taken care of as always. See, even just drying now, it looks a lot creepier. And I haven't blended that at all. Like there's not even an attempt so far at actually glaze blending that in. Glaze blending. Sounds like a fucking finishing move. He's gonna glaze blend him. I get glaze blended. But like that's actually what's gonna happen. Dog without a bone. Oh my god, there's like 5 hands in this in like a tiny area here. It's so annoying. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. No, we love glaze blending. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. Be a grand old time. I said this last time, but like someone just dropped in there, just dropped out completely again, just like half a second being like, nope. It's like, dog, can you read the title of this stream? I ain't hiding nothing from you. I don't understand why you would click on this if you weren't expecting to see like exactly what I'm doing right now. It doesn't make no sense, bro. It don't make no sense. You know, it's weird. This Bugman's Glow's coverage over white is actually fucking trash. I've never done Bugman's Glow over a white, like, base coat. Why would you? Like, it's got so much pigment in it. It handles black really, really well. So this is all new to me. We're going to make that one a little bit longer, a little more flesh on that arm because he's like crawling out there a bit. Extend that forearm a bit, you know? Okay, we're calling this a hand. I'm it's right behind a fucking lantern. Yes. God damn. Okay. Surely, we now hit the ultimate. Is that a fucking hand? It's only fingers, so I'm just gonna paint the fingers. The fingies. We will paint the fingers. Make it look like there's a hand there. But I ain't blending shit for that one. Oh, it's a little like clenched fist hand right here. I'll mark these hands. And you. You're a hand too. And you. Oh my god, there's so many. That's like the main hand. That's like the strongest forearm of the entire bunch. Okay, let's do this one. I'm going to come at this from a different angle. Oh yeah, that'll get you there. Let's paint the side of this hand. Come on now. Don't be getting lazy. There we go. Next. Feel like a fire sale at the glove factory, bro. Next hand. Next. God damn. Man, this brush is needing a clean in a second. Holy shit. Getting Bugman's Glow fucking caked on it. I'll remove that with a spatula. Well, since I have done it up here, I will paint a little bit of Bugman's Glow up there. I'll glaze that in. Oh, man, that's so many hands, dude. I don't even think we're, like, halfway, to be fair. I think there's still a shitload more of these. How many more? Oh my god. Okay, we are about halfway. We are about halfway. Sometimes you shouldn't look. Thank you, Davinda2, who I'm absolutely positive is not a bot, and I'm not going to read that message. You know? We really needed that. We really needed it. Davinda too is such a loyal viewer, you know. I see him in here all the time. He's up there with Steven. Don't be hanging shade on Davinda too, man. Do not be sleeping on Davinda too. I know we'll see him a lot. Hell yeah. Okay. All right. We are turning a corner on the model. Not that far, but we are turning a corner. Man, this is going to be a big one. A big fleshy limb right here. Why? Because I fucked up the painting and have to mask it. Hell yeah. Why not? Why not have a big fleshy arm right there instead of a root, you know? What do you think about that, Davinder? Okay. I will say Kick Chat is much more lively than the YouTube chat, but it has a fucking bad bot problem. Ain't no two ways around it. Sometimes my Kickboy, especially on like Baldur's Gate streams where you guys are particularly active, there is a bots galore, bro. It is like an open AI meeting. Oh my god, that's a high hand right there. That's a real high up hand. Look at this shit. A hand right here. That's crazy. What's he doing all the way up there, huh? What's he doing all the way up there? It's alright, I'm gonna paint him. He got some long secret sex fingers. Why are they so long? Why is this long Dennis shit going on here? Stephen Jesse, did your boss eat you? What's happening here? I don't mean to. He's probably doing something very important. I don't want to know what it is that you do. Does that make sense? I don't. I think keeping the mystery alive. Oh my god, is that a tiny hand? We're ignoring it. Um, I think keeping the mystery alive, Stephen, is very important. I don't want anyone to know what I do, and I don't want y'all to tell me what you do. You know, I think that's a beautiful balance. I'm so upset that I noticed this hand. Life would have been so easy without it. You know what's good about this one though? I'm not going to have to do any blending on this because it's tucked itself in nicely behind another root. Isn't that kind of it? I'm going to have to touch that area up though. Holy shit. Um, all right, on to the... How many hands we got left? Realistically, let's mark them. Let's mark them. Let's give ourselves something to shoot for. So there's one here. That's not a hand. Two. A fucking hand. No. Is that? Yes. Three. One, two, three. Oh, it's a clenched one. Four. Five. Six. Okay. Okay. Only six. We gotta clean this brush, dude. It's getting out of control. It's getting fucking out of control. Our slap chop fruit just sitting there looking at me being like, why, father? Why have you betrayed me? You used the forbidden slap chop, father, didn't you? I know you did. You birthed me. A monstrosity of slap chop. Okay, we need more Bugman's Glow. Hello. What do you reckon, Devinda? How's it going? My favorite kickbot, Devinda. He's always there for me. Telling me that my channel has good potential. You just need to really kick it off to grow. Thanks, man. Thanks, dude. Homie. Devinder, I feel like we know each other so well I can call you brother, you know? Okay. This is going to be after this, we're only going to have 4 hands left. How crazy is that? And then the first layer of the hands will be done. And then I will be allowed to get into the tough part of the hands, which will be the glaze blending. Trademark. Whoa, nice slip, idiot. Why is it so concave here? I blame that. There we go. Okay, much better. Okay, this bad boy right under here. He's hiding under a vine, but he's a hand. I can see him. Oh, there is another side to him. He's multifaceted, chat. You know what? I'm going to come at it from a completely different angle here. I'm going to come at it from the reverse. Oh my god, I've lost him. Oh wait, no, he's there. Yeah, as I said, I'm not 100% like concerned about the vines here because I'm going to be going over those. I'm going to make sure that they really pop. So I'm going to do all the details on the hands before that. I've got a hand up here. Yes, sir. Man, he got a gorilla thumb on him. Kind of crazy little thumb action there. This is going to be really, really nice to pick out the detail on this this hand here. Kind of digging it. Not the greatest sculpt on that particular area. Not that I could do any better. Okay. Is this the last hand? Is this the last fucking hand? I think it might be. I think it is. He got some long fingers on him. Okay, I am getting the glazer's itch. That sounds like something you do not want. But I am about to go into glazing and I can feel it's going to make so much of a difference. Let me just extend that down a little bit. Compensate for some of the messy white on the side. There we go. All right. We got some hands, boy. We got some hands. Okay. Now that we have said hands, any areas where there is a particularly prominent and it's not covered by another root or another object, I'm going to be glazing with some Bugman's Glow Glaze. That kind of rhymes. What kind of rolls off the tongue? Well, I'm going to be doing a little bit of glazing. Don't worry, boys. We're just glazing up. Them boys glaze up. Okay, let's grab some of this off my palette, and there we go. It's a nice glaze consistency. Maybe a touch more water. Maybe a touch. All right. Getting my, let's see how this behaves. I don't think I've ever glazed with Bugman's Glow before. Is it going to be a disobedient little man? I think it might. I think it has the potential to be, but we're about to find out. Okay, before we wick off the moisture, let's pick our first target. There you are. There's a nice one. Wicking off the moisture. All right, seeing how this behaves. Actually got a bit of color to her. Ending this obviously in the Bugman's Glow that is already established. Yeah. Okay, let's do it in there as well. Why not? Why the fuck not? Do a little bit more water. All right. Wick that off. Do a bit of a test. Okay, I'm happy with that. So yeah, what we're looking at here, you can see there that it's actually drying so quickly. Holy shit. What I'm trying to do is just establish a smooth glazed joint between these two areas. We're just going to go over any of these areas where there's outstanding Bugman's Glow joining. Any of these ones here like this. Whoop, this one's a big one. Now, the bigger areas are going to be a little bit easier, obviously. But I think that's almost the first round of glazes kind of done on that. Oh, wait. Remembering to end your brush strokes in the Bugman's Glow. That is very, very important. Man, this Bugman's Glow is kind of thick. Kind of thick, bro. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Okay, and now that we've done the first little run over here, in fact, I might just do this because it'll be a little bit easier. No, that's not easy to see. Uh, I'm now going to go a little bit closer to the Bugman's Glow. So we're a little bit closer to the origin paint that we're mixing. And I'm going to aggressively come in from there. So you can see we're just going a little bit more of a glaze. We're not nearly blended in yet, but it'll take a few tries. Keep in mind we are blending here two colors that are pretty different. Pretty different indeed. Remembering to wick off the moisture before you start that glaze. Test on your thumb if you need to. Once you've got a handle on the paint, you won't need to test as much. Yeah, this is pretty much exactly as I expected. Fortunately, these glaze layers are drying very, very quickly, which means we can just essentially keep circling the model and doing them. Excuse me. God dang. Oh, this one's here probably one of the easiest ones to see how the glaze blending is actually working. So I think about 4 layers on each one should be enough to blend this shade in pretty well. Pretty fucking well. Oh, that was a lot of moisture on that one. Yeah, essentially the more surface area ones are very, very easy to blend in. But these ones where we're working in a little bit of a tight space, it's a little bit harder to get the glaze to seamlessly go between them. I think we're almost back at the start here with this as well. But you can see glazing not actually that intimidating at all. People well overhype it, dude. Just keep moving your glazes in. Keep, extend the first one and then do less and less as you go forward. Oh, and dry the fucking brush. That is super important. I suppose that is like the part that people forget. They just mix that paint up. They fucking rinse the brush. They get the soppiest, the soppiest paintbrush with like essentially paint water on it, and they just slap that shit in there, and it gets coffee stained to oblivion. It's obviously not how you're supposed to do it. Come on now, guys. And if you're unsure, just test on your thumb. That's the easiest way. Yeah, some of these are already blended in. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. This is going to be a really easy one to see the glaze blending at play. This big prominent root one there. You can see there that like now it's almost like the color has just descended into that. It's like sprouting out of the out of that root there, which is exactly what we wanted. All right, let's go upstairs into the high rent district. Ooh, that was a lot of water as well. My God. We really are just kind of glazing the join here now on some of them. Just right back to where the line was, or the stippling in certain cases. You can see how these limbs are now more subtly blended in with a transition. Nice. Okay. We've only got a couple little areas here which I'll touch up a bit. So I'd say, yeah, we've gone around with about four layers of glazing on these ones before we're into the real like completion portion. Yeah, good. That one's already done. This one's done as well. That's done. That one's done. Cool. And you can see that we've just blended the lines in. We just made sure that it doesn't look like these guys are sprouting from nothing. So there we've just sort of glazed in the hard joins around those arms to the rest of the paint. You can see how it sort of transitions now down to a lot of those hands, rather than just rather than just sprouting from nothing. They're kind of like this one here, sort of like just transitioning out of the roots. All right. Now we get to pick out the actual hand detail. Huge, big plays. All right, what are we going to do for this? I might get some Vallejo light skin. Now, fuck it. Let's go some sunny skin tone. It is a tree after all. Come on now. Come on now. Okay, we won't mix too much in with it. But let's get a consistency check going here. You know what? I need more Bugman's Glow in that. Definitely not Iron Breaker. I said Bugman's Glow. There we go. Okay. That was a little bit better. Now, let's get to picking out some of the details on these little hands, huh? Yep. That brush is way too small and ineffectual. You know what? I think it's time we unleash the Kolinsky Sable. I do. I think it's time we got the Artis Opus series medium number 0. Tastes like Kolinsky Sable, bro. Okay. All right. You're pretty generous with these. Whoop. Pretty generous with your viewing angle. So this is just a mix of sunny skin tone in with that Bugman's Glow. We're just going to be going over some of these raised areas here, like the fingers. Keeping Bugman's Glow in the forefront of our minds as the recess shade. Yeah, so essentially just going around, picking out the hands, making them look not human, but like a little more animated. Picking out the areas that might be sort of raised a little bit as well, or a little bit more showy to the light. Obviously, because these are hands, there's going to be a lot more emphasis on the fingers here. Really only needing to keep Bugman's Glow in the very recesses. There you go. So just going around doing these ones. I don't think I've forgotten about you, Mr. Hands. God, Kolinsky Sable is just so nice. After working with synthetics for this, for pretty much the whole project, it's just nice to just have a nice paintbrush in my hand. I'll be honest. Okay. Being said, you can paint fucking anything with synthetics, dude. Kolinsky Sable's kind of a temperamental one. You can't really paint everything with the Kolinsky sables. Don't get me wrong, they're good. They're good as hell. They are. They some would consider them to be the goat, you know. But you can do so much with synthetics, man. You don't even need a fancy synthetic. You just get a brush, just brush brand brush. You'll be fine. You're still gonna make it. But I mean, if you do have the money, go Kolinsky. It's fucking goaded. It's really good. It's really really good. God, it's good. So yeah, just going around adding that little first layer around there. We're not going to be, you know, really really jumping and diving in here. We're not doing any crazy edge highlights or anything. We're just going over the areas. As I said, keeping in mind that Bugman's Glow as a base, you can afford to obscure quite a bit of it. We don't need all the Bugman's Glow to be visible. But because I don't want to do 15 different layers on these little grippy hands coming out from this tree, I am going to incorporate more of that base coat as being actually visible than I normally would. I'm going to try and have this done in like 3 or 4 layers. How's that view, chat? You like that shit? You like when I have to put that right in the way? Okay, let's go here. I think one of the reasons I really like the Kolinsky Sable brushes, aside from the point that they keep, is the well of paint that they hold. So fucking good, man. So good. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Let's get this one in here. We're making good hand progress now. Sound like a fucking high school relationship. Let's get that one. This is a good one for viewing. Yes, yes, right in there. Right where everyone can see what's going on. Hell yeah. All right, let's go out onto something that people can see. Okay, like this bad boy. Just the important thing with a actual hairbrush is just make sure you re-establish your point when you're drawing out the paint. You know, just give it a little a twist, a flick of the wrist. Remold that point as you're drawing it out of the little bit of paint that you're going to put onto the model is what I'm trying to say. Just make sure that you can consistently have a good point on the brush. Oh yeah, it's gonna have a big highlight on it. There you go. Yeah, how about you? How about that highlight too? How about we get a little bit up there, a little bit here. Right on that. There we go. Where was I? Here. Okay. The acute moment of horror when you can't even see your highlights, so you're just kind of guessing where you were. Okay, we're gonna play nicely together, aren't we, fingertips? Good stuff. Okay. Like, see how much paint this has held? It's actually kind of crazy how much paint this has held. Awesome. Oh, Kalinsky Sable, you're behaving. You're behaving so well. Damn. How did we ever paint without you? This little fist here, little balled up fist, is going to be a pretty fun one to highlight. Actually, he's kind of thick. He's kind of thick with it. There we go. All right, let's focus on the raised portion. Awesome. I think we're getting around. I think we're getting around. Okay. Oh, he's in there. I can't forget about that guy. Nice highlight on that area you didn't need to highlight. Nice. Oh, it's just a root. Crisis averted. Didn't even need it. Did not even need it. Was roasting myself for no reason. Okay, good. And I think that's it for the first little layer of highlights, which it is. So the next thing I'm going to do is just do a second round of highlights. Cleaning off my brush between. Important, very important. And I'm going to be adding, where's my sunny skin tone? There you are. There you are. More sunny skin tone. Fantastic. More water. Thin that shit. Thin it. Yes, sir. Mixing this up. Mixing it up good. All right, this will be, I've decided, our 3-layer highlight system. Because I'm not going to be doing more than that on fucking tiny little hands. How is it looking, though? Really, really creepy. Really creepy. That is quite disturbing. Yes, sir. Awesome. Okay. We're going to be hitting the areas around the hands as well, with maybe a little bit of like a Druchii violet, just as like a recess thing around them where they meet the stone faces, just as a like a little, I don't know, vibe check sort of thing. Okay, good. Good, 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 good. Good, good, good. Let's just go up here. Go on there, on there. All right. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, there we go. All right. Devinda, what do you reckon? I think it's coming up good. Oh, the actual authorities coming into the room here. Ivar. Ivar thinks it's more food time. That's what Ivar thinks. He's like, hey, fuck this shit as long as you give me more food. Kind of respect it. Let's just extend that a little bit. There we go. Surely the knuckles. Surely. All right. What about you? What about you? There we go. What about you? Okay, and the high up boys. Don't think I've forgotten about the high up boys. Okay, we are closing in on the finish of the hands. It is, it has been a process, that's for sure. Hasn't been that bad, to be fair. To be fair, it has not been that bad. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do this. Where are we? Where are we with these hands? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, good. Now, the next step. Let's get that there. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out the vines. Ugh. Now, vine color. Vine color. I had this mapped out prior. Let's see, where are we? You know what? It's going to be a toilet break for a second for me. It's going to be a little piss break. I'll be right back. All right. I'm now so much lighter. I'm ready to get back into it. Oh, where did I do this? Let's see. I think I'm going to start with an olive green. There we go. Olive green it is. Now this one will be an instance where we are using a Kolinsky Sable once again. I know, hold your applause. It's going to be huge. And we're going to do an olive green base on these vines. Now, how am I going to pick these out? Let's have a look at how it responds to the color. So, where are we here? Not bad. Not a bad color response. You can see how already just having that there is really going to make the base here pop a little bit. It's going to add that like vibrant green in. Verdant, that's the word I was looking for. And we can follow these vines all the way, because a lot of them are going to cross over onto the actual stone faces. Zoom out for this part. You're so right, Kick Chat. You're so right. You are so right. When you're right, you're right. When you're right, you're right, Kick Chat. When you're right, you're right. You know? Damn. When you're right, you're right. Okay. But yeah, you can see how much that just adds to the base, like, already, without me doing fucking literally anything else. It's like game changer territory. Now, really importantly, I don't want to delete any of the shading that is already in existence from the bark. So just being a little careful not to do that. Off the top rope. This is going to be very much a too thin coat stage. Yeah, that's fucking looking good. This is the shit that really ties it together. I said I want to be pretty careful not to go into those recesses. It's ultimately not the end of the world if we do, because I know the color and it wasn't a mix or anything like that, but be way cooler if we didn't. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Let's keep moving our way, making our way downtown. All right. There's one. Whoa. Put your tip back on. Jesus Christ, Kalinsky. I almost picked that up and was handling a straight fucking pool noodle. Now there will obviously be layers to this. I'm not just going to hit it with a fucking with this orange and then see you later. But this is a nice base coat here. Orange. Listen to me. It's an olive green. All right, there we go. We've picked that out. We're just going to keep going around. Finding them vines, picking them out, coloring them in. Setting them up, knocking them down. I've had way too much paint on this brush. Jesus. Use a Kalinsky Sable as a fucking base brush right here. There we go. I've unloaded enough paint for it to actually behave. Mm-hmm. Ooh, I see a little vine there. Don't mind if I do. This one's tucked away a bit. See, he's coming over here. Die. Die. I said this creates like a nice tie between the otherwise like pretty contrasting layers. That being the base stone faces and the shrubbery that is the tree itself. Okay, did not want to slip there, but I didn't. So we win. God damn. Hmm. That's better. Okay. So small vine up there. Kind of ties into that larger one though. Yeah, I'm gonna pick that out next. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Can't believe Devinda would abandon me like that. You know you want to work with me, not against me. Really important on the sides of the the sides of these vines here, that we make it three-dimensional in its shading. So it's not just a bit on the top, because we want to do that with other layers. And if we don't establish that properly here, it's going to look bad. Just plain and simple. Okay, there we go. Where to next? There's a little one on the top there. We see you, we see you. even nicer. Oh, it does continue. I was going to say it'd be even nicer if it continued into another vine, so that we had like a nice loop, and it does do that. Sculpting Dubsky right there. Good sculpt out of 10. Yeah, see how there's like a lot on the sides of these? They're quite like a three-dimensional structure. It's important to pick out those parts without getting into the recess shading. Nice. Good. And it's important to realize where they continue. And where they stop. Whoop. A little bit of ASMR for the mic there. All right. Get this part in here. Yeah, now that glaze is settled, you can really see how the hands are sort of sprouting out of that area there. The glaze has made that a lot more consistent and just not as not as sharp of finish lines, which is important for the realistic finish on a more natural, like a tree. You know, like if we're painting nature. Got an Australia Post notification. Crazy. Not even in Australia right now. All right, now we follow the rest of the vine to its nexus of completion. Again, the like 3D portions of this vine, very, very important for the tie-in. So we don't want to leave any of these areas untouched, because it'll make it really obvious when there's two lighter areas like the vine and the hand joining. Good, 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 good. And this is a long ass vine. She goes around damn near the whole tree. Oh yeah, it literally is just finishing there. Wow. Quite the vine. Okay, good, 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 good. Jeez. There's quite a number of vines here. We might establish the base coat on these vines and then call it. That will have been quite the progress we have made. Okay. Yeah, another reason is these light colors on palettes, man. They just do not keep. All right. All right. Wow, this is quite a long vine as well. We're just hitting all of the large and in charge ones, huh? Okay. As I say, we want to keep the three-dimensionality of these vines in mind because a lot of the times they are supposed to be blending with the structure above or below them. And a lot of the times, other than that, they have to be separated from the bark. Yeah, I'm finding the areas over white, they do need the most layers. Fascinating with this particular green. It responds much better over the darker shades. Okay, we got another big Mama Jamma vine. I'm going to just wash this brush off. It's getting a little bit, you know, how it gets after a bit of work. After you put a Kolinsky to work. Oh, okay. All right. Just going to trace this line here first and worry about the detail later. Oh wow, this is quite the vine. I told you it was a big Mama Jamma. Goes all the way down to here. Crazy. So let's just trace its path here first. Figure out what we're working with. Just finishes up there, that's fine. All right, it's not as large and in charge as we first anticipated, but it is a big vine. Okay, so let's go through and do that second coat over there. Let's join it to that one. just going to make sure that we've got every detail on the other side of that as well. As I said, keeping in mind the three-dimensionality of these structures. Mm-hmm. There we go. Okay, we really need to make sure that this area on the white here is fully pigmented, because that is this color's weakness. Painting over white. Who would have known? The easiest thing, stumbling on a simple twig there, my friend. Okay, good. Good. One more layer over that, and then we are on to the last vine, I think. An auspicious occasion. All right. I'm going to paint this bit here. Go on about the three-dimensionality and just forget an entire side of one of the vines. Huge. Hypocrisy W. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we only have this one vine left. But it's a big one. It is a big one. Just going to trace it out here first. Oh, this extends almost to the end of the base that the model came with. Pretty cool. Right, where's he go? Up here. He ends in a leaf. Okay, what about up here? He ends in a chicane hook turn. Excellent. All right, now we're just going to put in the actual body of the color. Make sure that that's got some good coverage over this white area, which it's having a lot of trouble with. So strange to have the coverage issue on the white. Very interesting. We're going over and doing the last thin coat over these areas to fill the Duncan Rhodes prophecy. 2 thin coats. He was actually cooking when he said that, though. Like real talk. W. Duncan. A little bit over here. Okay. Couple areas just on the bottom here. See where it's sort of like a bit patchy. Need that to be one homogeneous color, because otherwise it's going to be a shit base for what we need to do with it. Okay. Look at that. That is one lonely ass tree. That might be where we end it for now. That means that definitely the next stream we will be finishing the lonely tree, which I'm fucking excited about. What do we have left to do? We have the layering up of those vines, the leaves that are attached to them, the rimming at the base, and a little bit of a highlight on the canopy, and then we're fucking done. All right. Thanks, everyone, for coming out. Patreon supporters keeping the lights on with their huge pendulous wangs. And I will be back tomorrow to finish this bad mamma jamma off.